And welcome to the David Thompson Show, fighting tyranny one day at a time. I'm glad you can join me today. Welcome to the new America, where right is wrong and wrong is right, where we all live in a casino, where only the rich are winners. Take that, right? Today I'm going to talk about winners and losers, and mostly the American people are the losers. I'm going to talk about Medicaid. It's a big program. It's an important program. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a definition here. Most people know this, but I think sometimes we have to kind of bring it home a little bit. That's why I read some articles and try to get some hard factual data to bring forth first before I give you my commentary. And everybody wants my commentary. Well, almost everybody. Okay, Medicaid is a government program in the United States that provides health insurance for adults and children with limited income resources. Medicaid provides coverage for low-income families and children, pregnant women, the elderly, and people with disabilities. Now, here in Pennsylvania, you're allowed to make up to $3,000 a month to be able to be eligible for Medicaid. It's about, $36,000 a year, a little under that. But this seems to be too much for many people. Medicaid has been under attack mostly by Republicans for many years. They've been wanting to cut it because, you see, out of all the programs in the federal government, the ones that they want to cut, because they never want to cut defense, but for all the programs, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security have always been eyed up by these renegade right-wing people in the Republican Party to cut it and pretty much let the chips fall where they may for people who need it. Now, I know people come out here and say it's fraud-laden. Now, Elon Musk said there was a lot of fraud. Of course, he then was saying he found all this fraud when it was benefits being paid to children, and he was right, to children of beneficiaries. Children who now have maybe lost their family, lost a parent, and they're being supplemented by the federal government. That happened with me. My father passed away when I was 8 months old. We didn't get much, but it helped. That's the idea of our government. But you see, now that's changing. People on the right want it to change because everybody that isn't like them is a burden to our society. Anybody that isn't like them is stealing from them, isn't working hard enough. Whatever excuse they use, put it in there, put your own phrase in there, but this is where we're at. Now, I grew up poor. I grew up with a single-parent family. We didn't get tons of help. There was some. We could have used more. We struggled. That safety net helped my mother. That safety net saved us in many ways. But now we want to cut it and let those people fall. We don't know where. Does it matter? The budget for Medicaid is about $890 billion, at least as of 2023. That's the statistic I found. That sounds like a lot. It's a lot, yeah. Not really. I see sometimes people hear numbers, but they only hear what they want to hear. If it was numbers in favor of them, it's the best thing in the world. But if it's something you've been told and you've been programmed and brainwashed to believe is fraud and is no good, that's a lot of money. It's only $5. That's still $5. I'm sorry, that's how some people think. Money has taken over America. The desire for money, even if you don't have it, has taken over America. Why do you think there's so many places, so many internet ads telling people you can make millions by doing this and doing that, and people fall for it because they want money. They need money. Okay, we all kind of do to survive, but it's the fact that if you want to step on somebody to get to your money, I draw the line there. And as I said before, I don't want your blood money. I don't want you to take advantage of somebody and then give me a check because of it, to pay me off, to make me feel like you really cared. When big time is you don't. So Donald Trump and his co-president Elon Musk have targeted Medicaid. Now here, I got one line I found. There were so many. There's so much information out there. I didn't know where to start in a way. So I made this simple for myself. I'm sorry. Elon Musk and President Trump slashed funding for state health departments, making it more difficult for Americans to access substance abuse treatment and mental health care. Let me talk about this. I picked this line, and I do have an article or two, so please bear with me. I'll have more commentary after I read some of these articles. First of all, nobody in the White House, nobody in the Republican Party, and sadly, nobody in many states care about substance abuse or health or mental health care. We have programs, and so we need programs for substance abuse because America has one of the biggest addiction problems in the world. And yet we want to sit there and say America's going to be great again. But we want to leave out taking care of these people. Listen to what I'm saying. We're going to make America great again, but all the programs we need for those to help them be part of that America that's great again, they're not going to get any funding. They're not going to get any help. You're on your own. Mental health care, big issue, big issue. My daughter-in-law is a PhD psychologist, and she can tell you how big of an issue mental health care is in this country. We don't want to fund any of it. We don't want to deal with it. We want to hide it. Because you see, making America great again is only for a certain group. If you're not in that group, in this case, probably white, upper middle class and beyond, you're not really in the tribe. You're not in the group. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We're here just for those people, and we're trying to make it great for them, which means let's go back to the 1890s, to the Gilded Age, where the white robber barons actually just robbed everybody. There was no care about health, environment, equal rights. This is leaving us again today. It is. But most people, they again want to die on that hill. They will pick a subject, a topic, LGBTQ plus. They will pick that topic, argue with you for 4 days on it, go up on that hill and keep arguing about it. That percentage of people in this country is minute, 5% of this population, 5.5 of 350 plus million people. And they're going to worry about that over every other issue in the world. You don't understand. Well, I do. Your dislike for these people is your problem. I'm not concerned about anything that you're concerned about because I care about everybody. And I'm not going to die on your hill with you, as I say every day now, because literally it's a perfect way to state it. We're going to fight over this topic. You know, you were over my property line by an inch, and we're going to go to court over it. I've been involved with those issues. Believe me, crazy. You worry about a foot and a half of property line. He was over my property line, and they go to court. This is the same mentality, psychology used with these other people. They're going to go die on their hill. Fight to the end. Fight to the end. Well, we got to fight to the end for the poor, for the needy, for the mentally ill. I went up to a local hospital here. It used to be our Canonsburg General Hospital. It's now a rehab center. And I say rehab. The first floor is all people with memory conditions, many with Alzheimer's. And I walked and I know somebody there I went to visit. And it broke my heart. You know, these people are sort of left there. And one person, as I walked by, sweet lady, hi, God bless you. I hope you have a really nice day. It's just smiled. I said the same. And you know, these people are targeted. I mean, this is what's targeted. Alzheimer research is gone. I mean, defunded. Cancer research is, for some cancers, for a lot of cancers, are gone. You know, the health system is going to be ransacked because we don't really care. As long as we're okay and we're healthy and we're making money, which is the key, making money, because you all deserve it. Those people that make the money and want to complain about everybody else who isn't, making money and need help, those rich people, those middle-class people, and a lot of them are just middle-class people, you're better than everybody. So maybe you belong in a class of your own. Unfortunately, if you're below the upper middle class, you still don't fit in this administration's world. But you feel like you do. You're still going to support them, even though they'd step on you in a heartbeat. So before I go on to the article, so let me be honest, what we're talking about is welfare. People call it welfare, and it's a negative term. And they hate it because people live in public housing that's paid for a little bit by the state or all by the state or feds. People get some food stamps, and believe me, I know people that do, and it's not a lot of money. Now, maybe some do, but the people I know, and quite a few, don't get a lot of money. In fact, I worked, as many of you know, for the food bank in this area for 10 years. I was the director of this food bank. And I can tell you from looking at numbers, they're actually W-2s and things they would bring in for proof of income. These people aren't making a lot of money. You look at what they get from food stamps, it wasn't a lot. But you might think they're all out there buying steaks every day, which is what people tell you. How does this happen? Because I knew somebody at Shop and Save, or Foodland, they told me. And I also know people who, for years, who didn't get any of that, didn't buy any of that. So maybe there's a disconnect, and maybe these people are just jealous because they're not getting food stamps. Well, then if you're poor enough, you can. But why would you want that? These people don't really want to be poor, I don't think, although we believe they do. And maybe some of it is cultural, inherent, learned actions. Maybe. But we can't fix all that. Not the way the system's built. Our educational system's a wreck. It's junk. Our healthcare system's a wreck. So how do you expect these people that are in this vulnerable state to make anything of themselves? Some do. I've been told by people, well, I went and pulled myself up by my bootstraps. They can too. Maybe you had a little different outlook than they did. Maybe you have a little more ability than they do. I'm not here to judge people, but listen, we fall along those lines. We go on that hill and we die there. They don't deserve it, but people do. People deserve to get what they need to survive. This is America. Our government was created to help everybody, to make sure everybody was equal. That's what the New Deal was all about, to help those falling into poverty without jobs. But that's under attack. But we got, and I had a list here of about 25 companies. I'm going to give you a rundown of some of the countries that receive corporate welfare. Starlink, that's Elon Musk's company, $38 billion welfare subsidies. Boeing, $15.6 billion. Intel, $8.4 billion. Ford Motor, $7.7 billion. General Motors, $7.6 billion. Cheniere Energy, $5.6 billion. Foxconn Tech Group, $4.8 billion. Tesla, $2.8 billion. Oh, wait a minute. That's just a small list. But people don't care that they get subsidies. They get corporate welfare, plus hundreds of others. But we're worried about people that need to survive, that count on help from the U.S. government to make sure they don't die of starvation or not able to receive medications they need, mental health services. So I have an article here, and I get a little ticked about all this. Moderate Republicans push back on Johnson's budget over Medicaid cuts. Mike Johnson's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment as an American. He's an embarrassment as basically a congressman. He's an embarrassment as a human being, as far as I'm concerned. A group of moderate House Republicans is pushing back against deep cuts to Medicaid proposed in Speaker Mike Johnson's, Republican from Louisiana, budget plan, dealing a significant blow to efforts to pass a sweeping spending bill favored by President Donald Trump. It goes on to read, vulnerable and moderate House Republicans are warning House GOP leaders that they will not support the one big beautiful bill encompassing President Trump's legislative agenda if it includes cuts to Medicaid benefits. Vulnerable and moderate House Republicans are warning House GOP leaders that they will not support the big one beautiful bill encompassing President Trump's legislative agenda if it includes cuts to Medicaid benefits. So at least there's 12. And remember, these people are in districts where they're vulnerable to be voted out. Now, how much of this is they really believe they should keep Medicaid or just saving their own jobs? I don't know. I think it's a little of both. I hope it's a little of both. I hope it's more that we cannot leave vulnerable Americans under Donald Trump's plan to erase them. We can't do that. So here's another article. Basically, this is from the Democratic National Committee. Trump and his shadow president Elon Musk's plans are clear. Eliminate hard-earned benefits that serve millions of seniors while giving tax handouts to the ultra-rich and mega corporations. I cannot disagree with anything said there. This is what we're facing. Now, I've asked this many times to my subscribers, to those that come in and watch. What type of America do you want to live in? There is a tale of two Americas here. The one tale was the tale of our founding fathers that set up America to be equal for everyone. Now, maybe they didn't know in the future that people from India would come here or people from Iran would come here. But the thought was the same. The vision was the same, that everybody would be created equal. They would not be judged by who they are, what religion they were. That America would help people, would make sure that people are treated fairly, that we don't leave anybody behind. No one is left behind. The poor, the vulnerable, the mentally ill, they all count. They all count. Each one of you counts. But then there's another tale of another America. America of the rich, of the powerful, the ones that can pull the strings, that want to go back to the Gilded Age, that want to go back to the days where there's no worry about anybody coming after them, where environmental laws didn't exist, where women had to keep quiet, where blacks had to stay in the back of the bus, where the white powerful males controlled everything, the robber barons. Literally, they robbed you. They robbed our environment. They robbed our culture. But today, people want to go back to that because they've been taught and they've been programmed that everybody that is not like them doesn't count. I know some people might disagree with that. But you see, it doesn't matter if you disagree. It doesn't matter if you think it doesn't pertain to you because it probably does. People never want to admit their mistakes. As I said again, they'll go on that hill. They'll fight on that hill and they'll die on that hill. They won't look at the big picture. Nobody wants to. When you do, you start realizing that our world is starting to crumble. When you look at what's happening, you have to realize that something's wrong here. And it isn't just because Democrats are so bad and evil. It's not just because they don't understand what you understand. It's because chaos has been created by our president. Nobody in the world understands this except him. And I believe that many of those who follow him don't understand either. They just are going to nod their heads like good little people. Yes, 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 that's what we want. Let's get rid of everybody and everything. Let's cut the safety net and let everybody fall. You know that the most vulnerable people in Nazi Germany were those that had mental illness, were the old. Many of them disappeared, never to be seen again. Hitler purged everybody that wasn't going to be part of his great white race. He purged, he destroyed. Even for decades, there wasn't anybody that was physically handicapped or mentally handicapped because he killed them all. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're doing here today, but when you give seniors no options, then you've put them at risk. And isn't that the point, maybe? Maybe that's why we're not going to get rid of every agency. You're just not going to be able to contact them. If you need help, Social Security, Medicaid, you're not going to get anybody on the phone. I was at Panera. One guy called the VA, was on hold for 4 hours because they don't have enough people to answer the phones. Is that the plan? Let's just starve them out. Build a wall around them. They're on their own because, you see, the great white people of the right, they're going to make sure they get what they need. Corporate welfare. Stock insider tips. Now we're going to have to climb a wall and go through an obstacle field to get the things we need to survive. Is that fair? No. But the reality is this is what half the country voted for. Now the rest of us have to stand up and fight. And I'm asking you to join that resistance. 2026 is coming. We need to take back America. Make it great again for everybody, no matter what color you are, no matter what you believe, and no matter where you came from. This country was made for you and me. just like the song once said. Hey, that's all the time I have today. God bless you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. I appreciate that. And once again, I want to recommend our sister channel, Nights Around the Fire. I have a link in the description box to that video. It's only one video for now. Go watch it, like it, subscribe, and share that one as well. That's with me and Ashley Hamilton. We talked about missing persons in national parks. It's very interesting. We're going to produce more of those. Stay tuned. Besides all that, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time right here on The David Tomsic Show. Join the revolution.